All right. So we're going through the Citizencon panels 1 year later and discussing and seeing what we got versus what we didn't get. A lot of what were we so excited for? How did we not see this? You know, like all those kind of moments. So this one is Destination Adventure. And we got a lot of this stuff, but I think this is going to be the first one where it is they set the bar here and they delivered somewhere down here. Yeah. Probably not Galathier. Maybe.
Hello and welcome to Destination Adventure. My name is John Griffiths. I'm the lead environment artist for EU Sandbox 2, and I'm the product owner for the distribution centers. Before we delve into, I'll put my slide on for a start. Before we delve into it, everything that you're going to see is currently in gray box, so just keep that in mind. So
it looked great.
These distribution centers,
gray box, I remember.
What are they? Well, first off, they're the biggest location we have on the ground outside of landing zones. The reason why they're so big is intentional. We wanted them to accommodate as much world and mission-based gameplay as possible.
Before we watch this and they explain, what rating would you give these? Out of 10 for their actual implementation in game. Like, I don't think it's like a 1 or a 2, but I don't think it's above 5.
Each location supports multiple landing pads and hangars, making them accessible to as many players as possible.
The reason why this is so big, he says it's intentional, not a reason. Yeah, what's the reason? What's the intention? Because they're cool. They're big.
At any one time. There's even a road network to support transit from the planet's surface, into the main building and to any berth ships.
If you say roads, these guys are just going to clap. Then they found out what kind of roads they actually got.
So every distribution center...
Yep, a bunch of roads blocked with stupid decorations. You can't spawn vehicles here.
So it will be owned by a faction. You know, depending on the faction and where the distribution center is located on the planet will determine its specialism. Now, each specialism will lend itself to different missions and gameplay opportunities. So let's talk.
Do we have that specialism and gameplay opportunities? I mean, the cargo missions deliver slightly different stuff, kind of, maybe. I don't know. But I didn't really feel that.
Talk about some factions for a moment. So, an example of a major faction would be the UEE. Now, at their distribution centers, they're likely to be more specialized towards military supply, research and development, or communications, depending on which branch of the UEE it is. They will have a much stronger military presence in the area. And missions here may be more hostile with combat-orientated, team-based raid opportunities.
Yep,
Other examples of hostile gameplay that we're thinking of is hacking and stealing, searching for and destroying a specific item, tracking and eliminating any VIPs, and, everyone's favorite, eliminate all. Great Cat Industrial would be an example of a minor faction. So their distribution centers will be more specialized towards gathering resources, manufacturing, assembly, shipping. There would be a security presence here, but it won't be that as strong as a major faction. And missions here would be more suited to...
This is them just going up there saying what they hope to do at some point.
Friendly gameplay loops, though we won't be ruling out...
This is a really good example of how we need to approach Citizencon this year. If this is still how they're going to do it, we have to understand that it's just a bunch of guys going up there telling you what they hope they're able to deliver, knowing that there's going to be some roadblocks,
out hostile missions like corporate espionage.
Yeah, there are mercenary, cargo, and search missions, right?
Yeah, some other friendly gameplay types. Cargo hauling, like I said, resource gathering and mining, maintenance of the location.
I assume we'll have maintenance post 4.0.
But you know, that's enough of me talking about it. How about we show you where we're up to with these distributions?
What's exactly blocking them? I don't know. I don't exactly, like the mission team's doing other shit?
Sensors.
I mean, like, guys, the simplest thing that we don't have is a cargo, like a commodity purchasing panel at these. You can't even purchase commodities here. There is a lot of potential at these still, but these were a highlight of Citizencon. These were the highlight of 323. Remember that. And these were part of Citizencon 2022. '22 is just concept art. Brother. It took them 2 years to make a building, yes, it's very big, that is 50% done, that has no missions, very little missions, and not a lot of reasons to go to it. Are we making a game or are we drawing art? That's the point of contention here. That's the point of frustration. What are we doing? Why are we doing it this way? Why does this keep happening? Why is an artist the owner of the distribution center? Why isn't a gameplay designer the owner of a distribution center and they work with artists? Did you catch that part at the beginning? Why does he own it? Think we know why. Because sex sells. Like, look at this. They're showing you, like, how badly you might want to be driving an Ursa down a road and all this stuff, but it's just... You only do this if you want it to RP.
Thank you. So to talk you through the corporate spaces at these locations, please welcome Rainer Rick to the stage.
Yeah, and they'll focus mostly on art, I believe, here.
Hello. So my name is Rainer Rick. I'm a lead environment artist at the Montreal studio.
There you go, another artist. So I don't want to take away from the art because the art is absolutely stunning and these people are incredible, right? But the first two people for a major gameplay location are artists.
And we've been working with John's team on the distribution centers. So John just showed how massive these locations are. He also presented the industrial sections on the ground level. and I'm here to present the administrative area of these facilities that the Montreal team has been working on. So, they're located above ground, just below the tower highlighted in the picture. Inside, you'll be able to explore the corporate office space and interact with the administrative personnel. Accessible via the lifts in the hangars, and also the industrial sections we saw earlier.
The amount of times I got stuck in that specific spot during EVO and PTUs, I cannot describe to you.
In addition, we've added also landing pads in front of the lobby, specifically designed for smaller ships and ideal for short stays like pickup or delivery missions.
Ooh, I gotta say, one huge positive of these, when I go and run cargo at these locations, I only run cargo to and from these locations because they got a hangar I can go into. It is my hangar, my own, alone. I move my cargo in and out, and I am left alone. You have your external ones if you want, but of all the outposts in the game, I do gameplay. Like, I've done a lot of shit talking about the lack of gameplay. Having two hangars that you can come and go to, like to and from, at these locations was them seeing a problem that we experienced in the game and not selling us a solution, just putting it in the game, and it just works, and it's really helpful, and they really thought that part or saw that part. They got that feedback, and they applied it, I think, really, really well as far as just, a little, it's a little thing. It's a little thing, but it goes a really, really long way. So to not be totally negative on these distribution centers. But again, I think that these were a highlight of Citizencon. I think these were supposed to be the highlight of 323, to be honest, and I don't think it really hit.
And we can't ignore the fantastic views we have from these platforms. A reminder of the vastness of these facilities. Now, let's step inside the lobby. You'll find the atrium, which is a central point of the administrative area, providing access to various locations of the corporate space. Within this space, you'll find the reception desk, and as a newcomer, you'll be
Aha! Are you ready? Smuck, thank you very much. Our first example today, but we're kind of watching the panels out of order. Hand over your deliveries and earn reputation points. This was very clearly a theme of Citizencon 2023. Reputation, 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 reputation. In nearly every single panel, we saw the word reputation, like it was going to be a focus for them. Another thing to think about going into Citizencon 2024. They're going to be talking about 1.0. You didn't even get reputation in the game, right? You don't even get numbers going up in the game. Don't even worry about the rewards. We don't even have the points for a lot of these things. I mean, I guess the points go up. But then if we fail, we lose all the points, and there's tons of problems. But a lot of the communication was around that reputation was going to matter. And it kind of does around the cargo missions. But outside that, I didn't see much of it. And that was something that coming out of Citizencon 2023, that was, I was focused on every patch. Have you implemented any of this? No. Damn it. Next patch. Did you implement any of this? No. Oh my God. Next patch. Did you implement any of this? What's going on? Why did you talk about it so much if you're not going to do it?
Expected to report here first. So here you can hand over your deliveries or pick up packages and earn reputation points with that faction. So also expect to see corporate ownership reflected through branding, color schemes, and product placement throughout the corporate hub. And with the use of overlays, we'll be able to swap these out depending on the ownership. And here's an example with Grey Cat showcasing their vehicles and some shiny armor. And, back on the topic of reputation, as it grows, you can expect to gain access to the executive office spaces. From here, you'll meet with unique quest givers, and depending on your reputation level,
Get out of town!
You'll receive various mission types, either friendly or hostile. And
in what century?
finally, the distribution centers were designed as an evolving location. We've built this with future expansion in mind. And in the back of the lobby,
Everything that you saw will be here in the next 12 months or so. Man, or so is doing a lot of work.
for example, doorways could eventually lead to additional office space. So, enough talk. Just before I show our progress so far, I want to give a big thank you to the Montreal team for their work on the administration area. Thank you. And as John mentioned, we're still in gray box phase, so just keep that in mind. But let's take a look.
Even then, it was visually stunning. Because they're just so big. Shiny armor is in gameplay. This is an artist. They don't do gameplay. He's selling you on the scale. He's selling you on, is this an actual place where you have things produced and people are selling them? Is this a showroom? They're doing their job. And they're doing it very, very well. I will never knock the work that these guys do. I just can't stand that they decide everything, it feels like. What they do comes first no matter what. Who's to blame? Level design? I mean, in the end, there's really only one person, right? There's one person who decides. We keep looking at individual developers, but we have a CEO, and it's his vision. Do you think they intentionally undeliver? No. Absolutely not. This is so loud. I think that if they were to give themselves a grade this year, they would not be happy with their grade whatsoever. They would not be giving themselves a passing grade. I think that they're just as frustrated this year as we are. And they're burned out. They worked really hard. There was something like every week. There were so many patches. I wonder how many more patches they delivered this year than last.
He's going to continue the presentation.
Or prior years.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Team did a great job with that video. Okay, so something we've been working on that's unique to this location is raids. Click on.
Raids.
So raids are team-based missions with a focus on high-risk, high-reward operations.
What rewards?
As Carl mentioned previously, you'll be able to choose how you gain entry to these locations. Coming prepared and geared up will make the difference between success and failure.
Dude says come prepared and brings a Uberev.
Ultimately, you'll need to work together in order to succeed. So these raids will have you breaching the interior of the main structure, highlighted here. Now, each interior will comprise of rooms that reflect the location's specialism. For example, a shipping, focus, distribution center will have rooms dedicated to the storage of cargo. Looking to the future, we're planning on having distribution centers with subterranean levels that will be accessed from this interior space. These will expand upon and increase the difficulty of these raids. Now let's take a look at one of these raid missions in action, but please note that this is early gameplay prototype of a raid.
In other words, we staged it all. and it's not real. Because the only thing that's missing out of this whole experience is the mission part of it, right? Like, it's just CIG doing what orgs do every day. It's like, all right, let's go to this location, and yeah, you're inside, we're outside, and like, you got to break in and get these boxes, okay? And if you don't get the boxes, you lose. And it's like, okay, but like, where's the stuff there? This we should. I mean, this I don't think any of us fell for. I'm pretty sure we all knew this one was fucking bullshit when we saw it. Like, look at this machinima, dude. Who are you shooting at? They were shooting at nobody. Why are you shooting like that? Aim down sights. Oh my god. Apparently this thing is back. What is he shooting at? Hold on. We must go back. What was he shooting at? They were just... Ready? What is he shooting at? Suppressing fire. Guys, the walls aren't going to shoot back, okay? I'm pretty sure we did not fall for this one. I don't think many people fell for the raids. Because you know why I don't think many people fell? Because nobody really asked for them. Nobody's like, but where are the raids?
So, as you saw in the video...
I'm not going to lie, though. I thought there was going to be raids when we saw the actual, the 1SCU boxes of, I think it was steel at a location. And I was like, oh, okay.
The team took a more aggressive approach to getting inside and taking what they wanted. But this isn't the only approach you can use. You know, multiple points of egress allow you to be stealthier, and it may make it easier for you to avoid obstacles in your path. Now, reputation will also tie into these raids.
Again, another
Missions
reputation.
will have varying objectives depending on the player's reputation level. And dynamic events may also be triggered during the raid, so players will need to adapt to an evolving situation. This could range from dealing with additional security personnel to other players arriving to defend the location against you. Something else we've been prototyping is how we can utilize the multi-tool to create gameplay puzzles. Physically interacting with the
remember this? I feel like it was the previous one.
environment
the jump puzzles
around you changes the puzzles for everybody.
It was awesome.
With multiple add-ons for the tool available, you may have to get creative when finding a solution to the problem in front of you. In this next video, we show you how using the tractor beam attachment can open up new paths to your objective, but it's up to you to decide what path you can create with what is available. Let's watch the video.
All right, and this was, if you saw the Squadron 42 demo, you were like, Squadron 42 stuff coming over to Star Citizen. Hell yeah, this is really good. Puzzles are weird in an MMO. Go play Throne and Liberty. They're actually pretty cool. It works. It works in that MMO really well. Also, vaulting on a box, not in the game. I never played Guild Wars 2, but yeah, a lot of you guys mentioned that as well. So just the idea of having to get across this location, where, have you ever seen this location in the game? I haven't.
So, yes, thank you. Now, obviously, it was, this location would be possible with several people at CIG, so My thanks go to Manuel, John, Jack, Martin, Faruk, Luke, Chris, Mustafa, Sam, Tom, and Rob. You've been excellent. Thank you to Rainer and his team in Montreal. You know, none of this would be possible without their efforts. And yeah, thanks to everybody here and online watching. Really appreciate your support. On to the next one.
What's next? Oh, shit.
Hello.
This is the freight elevators.
This is a good segue from the distribution centers, as I'll be talking to you about different aspects of cargo and freight on behalf of art and design.
Okay, on behalf of art and
My
design,
name is Nick Etheridge, and I'm an assistant environment art director.
He's the art. Let's be
So
fair to
obviously,
him.
cargo isn't just about boxes. It's a big part of.
Oh, wait. We can't be fair to him. You know why? Because none of the art is in the game, really. All of the cool art that we were excited for didn't even make it.
The game, almost every aspect of the game has some kind of involvement with cargo. And I'm going to briefly go through some of them now.
I'll move myself.
So let's start with missions. How will hauling contracts work in-game? We'll be introducing the Interstellar Transport Guild.
And you will only get missions from them and no one else.
As well as formalizing some of the main hauling and cargo companies that you'll be working with.
They removed all of these. They not only didn't formalize them, there are no cargo missions from these companies whatsoever. I guess they didn't remove them because there's the delivery missions with them. But what?
As you do more hauling...
The applause is ridiculous. No, it wasn't. This was so exciting. If you were into non-combat gameplay, your initial thoughts were this. There's been something in the game for a really, really long time, and it's called bounty hunting. And bounty hunting has this really nice, I think, like mission flow associated with it, which is you have the bounty hunters guild that overlays everything, and you build rep with them, and that allows you to get larger and more dangerous or whatever type missions, right? Make more money. And then you have each city, or each, in our case, planet, that has their individual kind of mercenary or bounty hunting security type reputation that goes along with it as well. Now, given all of the conversation around reputation over the 2 days, you're thinking, wow, it's really starting to come together. I'm going to be going and doing and hauling stuff in the game for these companies, and I'm going to be earning skins, or I'm going to be doing this, or I'm going to be building my rep with these companies, and there might be some meat behind that rep, right? So the applause is not ridiculous. This was them selling with a PowerPoint something that we thought was going to happen, which, of course, fucking did not.
In contracts, you will build up your reputation and relationship with the guild. This will lead you to gaining more lucrative contracts.
Look at the blue text.
For specialized cargo and destinations, such as different forms of hazardous cargo.
None of this exists. The only one I would say is high-risk routes, because they do have more expensive missions that go to the salvage yards. But outside that, a career in cargo will have a meaningful sense of progression. And I will continuously go back to Chris Roberts saying all of this will be in the next 12 months or so. And I will repeat again, or so is an Olympic power, is a strongman power lifter, is the world's strongest man for the amount of fucking weight that it has to lift on that statement.
Perishable cargo, riskier routes, and more. So what do I mean by hazardous and perishable? Well, as you know, there's lots of commodities in the game, and different commodities have different properties.
None of
As
this
you know,
is
with
in.
events like Xenothreat, we have some special cargo types with different attributes, such as time-sensitive cargo.
Time-sensitive is in.
Or
We had the blockade runner time-sensitive.
quantum-sensitive cargo. But those were a small selection for the event, and they were the two-handed carryable types anyway. We'll be expanding those types, plus lots more types, to the wider game and to these hauling contracts. So how does this affect gameplay? It will affect the choices you make when you are handling, storing, and traveling with the cargo.
Size and weight, son.
For example, with size and weight, is it carryable? Do you need a tractor beam? What type of tractor beam do you need?
Excuse me, I need the $40 tractor beam that I can only get on the website that has a way better mechanic than all the rest of the tractor beams. That's the one I need, all right?
Is it a handheld one or a ship tractor beam? Some containers can only be moved with ship tractor.
What if it's a $40 mech tractor beam? Just saying.
Beams, for example. With health, has the container got good integrity? Is it holding fragile goods? Do you need to handle it with care? You can't just throw all containers about. For temperature control, do you need to ensure the container is packed?
Now containers don't do damage, and you could throw all the containers about. Where are my liquid water containers, folks? I saw this. I know it's just a container. I really, 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 really badly wanted this. I think it's just because water is something that actually, makes the world go round for us. And to not have water in the game always felt weird.
Powered, so it can keep the contents cool. Or do you need to get to your destination quickly? Otherwise, the contents may perish. For security, can the container be locked or hacked? Can the contents be scanned, or is the container tracked? Will there be pirates or law after you when you're holding this container? Hazard containment. Is it radioactive? You might need the right protection against it, as you may have seen in Jens's presentation earlier. Can it explode? You might not want to put these containers on a more exposed section of your ship. And many of these attributes are going to be visually distinctive. So conversely, if you want to steal, for example, some cargo on a hull C, which does have very exposed cargo containers, you might want to avoid shooting blindly and accidentally blowing up your potential profits. So look out for those types of containers.
Don't see them.
Back to mission progression. We'll be introducing perks and rewards as part of fulfilling contracts and raising reputation with these companies.
Fuck this slide. This slide fucked up my entire year. It was this slide that ruined it all. Because this was the one where I was like, oh, they're changing. Oh, they're changing. The blue text, the rewards and perks can only be earned in game. They cannot be purchased. There's no rewards and perks. There's none of this in game. You sold a $40 thing that should have been a reward and perk. There are no discounts on shops. There's no exclusive rewards. There's no branded clothing. There's no flair. There's no branded ship tools and skins.
For rewards, we'll have branded ship and tool skins, branded clothing.
Zero of this.
There will be collectibles to decorate your hab, hangar, or ship, or you can put them anywhere you want. And there'll be more exclusive.
And again, this one slide was enough to have me huffing. This one slide was enough to have me huffing that they're changing their mentality. I didn't know that they only changed their mentality like 0.001% away from being a store game to actually being a video game. So unfortunately, it was very, very little.
Exclusive rewards that we'll be revealing later. Thank you. For perks, you'll get access to more items in shops and discounts on specific
later?
items. And all of these rewards and perks you need to earn in the game. You cannot just buy them.
So what happened there at the actual event was like 2 people were happy, and all the people who were pissed off that they couldn't buy everything on the website and have the advantage over everybody just did this. I don't like it. But everyone else is clapping.
Next, let's have a look at freight elevators and hangars. I knew you'd be excited.
Oh, yeah. Little did he know. Little did he know.
Elevators and hangars. I knew you'd be excited for this.
Little
I'd like
did
to
he
show you a
know.
short video to demonstrate how
It was at this moment.
freight elevators will change how you view your hangars and how you use your hangars.
It's going to happen again this year. I'm going to huff copium. I won't overdose this year. I overdosed last year. You're probably right on some things, but... Jesus, man. This fucking music. What are they doing? All right, I'll check it out later, expat. Not right now. I mean, this turned out to be just as shitty, if not shittier, than what people were expecting it to be in terms of tedium. I feel like. I personally didn't mind it, but I think a lot of people didn't enjoy the cargo patch that much.
No.
Oh, Pepe laugh. Pepe left. But they don't. None of that works. What? That thing doesn't exist. What are they doing all this prep for? Oh, that machinima raid that we just watched. They're gonna go raid up, pretend to raid a base.
Thank you. Thank you. So, as you can see, hangars, they will become persistent and personal, meaning you can stay there as long as you want. Whatever you leave there will persist and will be yours to use as you see fit. Your hangar won't just be a place that you leave from in your ship. It will become a key base of operations to handle your inventory and storage needs.
Probably not.
And you'll be able to request your ships from an ASOP terminal from within the hangar itself.
True. Which is hype. Which is hype. Hey, we like it.
Location inventories won't be magic and instant anymore. This means that the freight elevators will be one of the main ways you interact with your local inventory. Items stored at the location can be requested via the elevator kiosks and will be brought up in a physicalized state to do with as you want. This would be done through a dedicated interface screen to manage large volumes of items. It won't be using the personal inventory system. The change is obviously a really big quality of life improvement to retrieving ground vehicles. No longer do you have to travel thousands or millions of kilometers.
Why did you claim you can do this if you didn't know that you could do it? Why do they keep doing this?
To specific places in the verse to get your vehicle. You will get them straight from your hangar. You'll also be able to bring up ship components, so your hangar is now more of a maintenance bay and outfitters where you can do repairs and swap around
Bro, ain't nobody doing this shit. Everybody's using the Mobi-Glass still.
items and things like that. So in short, persistent player hangars in combination with freight elevators will dramatically change what you can do in your hangar. It will be a home to do as you want, which has always been the dream. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. And I will pass you over to Todd Pappy.
Citizencon. Come on, I can't hear you. All right, there we go. So, we'll be talking today about something special. It's an update on something that we talked about a little while ago, but we feel it's the future of Star Citizen, and it's the culmination of multiple different game systems coming together. So why don't you play the video?
So we're watching 2024 Sitcon right now because they're going to do this exact same video again. It's just going to be a little different. Don't spoil? Oh, yeah, spoil alert. Not gonna lie, base building is hype. Yes, but why? So I'm really hyped to hear the why. Mike, pre-watch 2024 Sitcon. Yep, it's right here. You're pre-watching right now. Day 2. This is 2024 Citizencon. Yeah. What do you think? No, this is the preview of 2024. It just happened at 2023 Sitcon. I know. It is confusing. But it's Star Citizen. Look at this. Look, you can mine. You can't mine. Nope.
This isn't real.
Nope, it's not real.
There's no basic.
But this year, maybe it's real. No?
Like, you can't even stay on a server for longer than 20 minutes without crashing.
But what if I had a base on that server?
You would even less be able to be on it.
Yeah.
Don't scam them. Emmy is one of us. But 0 of my dollars in this game.
I doubt they can hear you. The music's very loud. You gotta speak up, girl. What is this game? This is Star Citizen 1.0. Coming in 2050. What do you think? Pretty exciting. Oh, look at that. A medical facility, folks. So now instead of taking my medical ship to somebody and doing the same thing that I would do there, I just take another ship instead of the medical ship, and then I bring them all the way back there to do the medical things. In reality, that's just going to be a respawn point, and we're all going to backspace to it, probably. Now, this next part, I still fuck with.
So base building.
Look at these guys. Look at these faces. Only this guy knew what was happening. Nobody else knew what was happening. This guy knew. He knew. He's like, I don't believe any of this shit.
All right, it breaks down into two really large gameplay sections, planning ahead and prepping, and then you've got the on-site where you're actually going to build. So with that, you need to figure out what your goal is.
How can they stand up and lie like this?
View?
Oh, they didn't lie about any of this stuff. This was one of the most clearly communicated and like stuck to the plan. First off, because they barely show it, so stuck to the plan communication that they had at Citizencon. So I would argue none of this is necessarily a lie. Obviously, I think some of these things will be changed as they implement it, as anything would. But they went up there and they said what they said, and
relax.
They gave you a realistic timeline on it.
Where you want to create and sell items. Is it to gather resources available and move on to the next area, or is it to be off grid and be completely self-sufficient? So with that, with your prep and everything like that.
The next slide that fucked me up, that again is prep for 2024 SitCon, is this one. Absolutely fucked me up.
We've got blueprints. So the recipes. Everything in the game is fabricated from a blueprint.
My desk turned into a standing desk.
Players acquire blueprints via reputation rewards, missions, or rare NPCs. With any blueprint, you can actually do research on it and then create different variations. With materials, ranging from the common to ultra rare, you might find them at the local shop or have to travel around the universe to collect them. Unrefined, refined, simple materials, or even complex components will all go into the fabrication. With this, then you got location, location, location. First area is high.
This is what I was sold on. This is what I was sold on from the entire thing. Anything that was talked about here, yeah, the blueprint information I knew for years. Somebody just stupidly said something, and I was like, what? Okay. But the like years and years while people were saying there would be no crafting in the game, and I'm like, okay. So this is what sold me big time was the security levels, and that they did want to do something in terms of there are definitely chill places like high security for people that want to just chill and have like literally no danger. So screenshotters, ship meetups, all that stuff, you could just do that. And then right down the line. This was the part that I was sold on, is their intention, their design ideas, and this was the part that I thought was cool. All of this is definitely subject to change, and you never know. But in the moment, I was very excited for this because I think it just made sense for who your audience is, what game you're trying to make, because your audience is, it ranges from the 890 Jump Club, right, all the way to your Avenger Squadron, LR, I don't know what LR, Liberty Reapers, I forgot what it stood for, Shadow Moses, PAX Day, like you have such a wide variety of people that are interested in playing the game, right? PAX Day is a game. packs. I don't know what their org name is, but like you have the PvPers that are like the sweatiest of PvPers, and then you have literally the 890 Jump Club. Like the range of players is wild, so you have to have content for both. And I think this is a really strong way to do that.
Security. So you must purchase the land. The base is actually invulnerable because the planetary shield tech.
And the guy saying and doing this left, who cares?
It as well. You pay
that
for
doesn't
the
matter.
privilege. You're
Pax
taxed.
Mortis, thank you.
So at this point, you won't have the best resources available. You won't have access to the best resources available on the planet. If you don't pay your taxes, the shields will go away after a period of time, and the base.
Yeah, so you hear that? You will not have best access to resources. So these high-sec areas are not going to have the best stuff. Pyro is going to have the best stuff.
Will become derelict and will collapse.
That's their intention.
But
So I'm sitting here going, these guys actually want to make a game. And then 2024 happened, and none of this fucking shit happened.
Low risk, low reward. Then you've got low security. So again, you must purchase the land. It's owned by an independent corp, gang, or faction. Again, you don't have access to all the best resources on the planet. The base is vulnerable. AI NPCs will show up and protect the base if it's attacked. The protection will escalate over time. Player can also build defenses to help mitigate this as well. And then it's medium reward, medium risk. Then you've got lawless. So this is no protection other than what you build. There's shields, anti-air. Players can disable the shields by getting close to them and destroying them. High risk.
And to be clear, I don't care how long it takes for this to come in. For me, what I was sold on was just the general design idea. It was fine. It was fine that the game was going in a direction that I was excited for. And it was not all kumbaya and let's look at our ships and make machinima, right?
High reward. Since there's no taxes, no protection fees, you get a high return on the resources that you collect. Now, there's some cross-shard and server meshing considerations that will kind of adjust this design in the future, but we'll get into that later once we're really building it. So from here, you've got the tools. So this is what we would consider a surveyor.
This is what we find out this year. And I'm not going to lie, I think this little mule behind me, or under me probably. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter where I go. I think this mule, I think that's how they're going to find a role for it. I think they're going to find a role for the mule via these systems. And the only ship panel at Citizencon this year is all based around crafting and base building.
With this, we want to actually cater to everybody's playstyle, whether you're solo or in an org. With this, you got different buildings that you can produce, from small, medium to large to XL or XL. So with the surveyor tool, you can only build the small buildings. With a vehicle, you can build small and medium-sized buildings.
Mm-hmm.
With the Galaxy, you can build small to large structures. And then obviously with the Pioneer, Pioneer can do it all. And it still works as a mobile base. And we'll talk about some of the more expanded features that we're adding to it in later on. So, and then it's also, we're exploring what can be done in space, not just on the planet.
We're exploring what it can do in space, not just on the planet. Flytech, thank you.
So from here, you set off on your journey. So with the land claim, you put your tool down where you want, you launch the drone that is built into the machine, and then from there, this allows the player to access the base building and also land claim mode. With the land claim modes, the player can actually change the size and position of what area they want to claim, and it also shows you the cost and taxes associated with it. If it's in a taxable zone and you don't own the land, this interface will default to it. So if you own the land or it's in a lawless area, it'll automatically go to base building mode. So with the overhead view of the land, you can actually place down buildings exactly where you want. You can see the resources beneath the surface, and then you can also place multiple buildings before you actually build. So you can see how it will all kind of come together. You'll see the resources that are needed for it. And then you can also switch back and forth between different modes, which are showing off the resource network and how you link basically power generators to consumers.
Do we
And
know
then the
why
player
Todd
can
Pappy
move
left?
or deconstruct existing
Fucking
buildings
personal
right
reasons,
now with
man.
no
It doesn't
charge.
matter.
Fabrication.
Did Benoit replace Todd? No, it was Rich Tyrer. And I will say that, like, Zach in Discord and I think on Reddit or Spectrum or somewhere is kind of talking a lot about how this is kind of going to be the first CitizenCon. This is going to be the first year that is Richard Tyrer's game. Where early this year they were still doing a lot of stuff that was like Todd's direction, which I don't understand any of this bullshit because it's Chris Roberts' game. So what the fuck is going on here? I don't get it. Like CR makes the game and that was it. And yeah, so I don't get it.
So when you basically build these buildings, they don't come with any furnishings. And if you didn't bring any with you, then you want to build a fabricator. So depending on what you want to build, there's different sizes of them.
I hope their funding model is a lot more along the lines of filling locations like this as well. Like different colored glass, different couches, and different things.
That's
like
what buildings.
The same, how would I say it? The same fabricator, let's say, but it looks a little different and it fits a theme of some kind.
From decorations, armor, weapons, components.
Yeah.
And
I think
even
we're going to
ships.
see a lot of this year, though.
So like base building mode, you need blueprints, resources to craft what you want. Everything fabricated is produced from it produces a physicalized entity. Stats and quality will depend on the quality of the materials actually used. Once you've done that,
Quality
and
of
you've built your
materials.
decorations, now you can actually fill the room the way that you want to fill it. So furnishings can be purchased at different locations, or they can actually be fabricated. You can do that via first person or in a dedicated mode in the server.
Dude, I can't wait for this to be a survival game, and I have to chop the exact wood to get the color that I was looking for these wood floors.
Very cool.
Oh my God, it's going to be
With that,
amazing.
you've got different types of buildings. So you've got utility style, which would be garages, freight elevators,
I'm kidding,
landing
by the way.
pads, storefronts. And then you've got extractors. So with extractors, we want to make sure that nothing in regards to resource gathering is fully automated. A level of player engagement is always needed. So as Nick talked about before, there are different types of commodities, radioactive, perishable, etc. What you'll be doing is pulling out full containers. Then from there, it'll be repairing, or there's wear and tear associated with it, or even misfires like you saw in Thorsten's talk and Guillermo's talk yesterday. There's also upgrade paths for making them more efficient or resilient. Power generators. So with different types of power generators, there'll be some that are more cost-effective as well as effective in different areas. Solar panels will not always work in darkness. Fuel generators will need to be filled up every now and then batteries to store excess power. Then you've got producers. So things that will require the players to combine different resources to produce new items.
Again, we're literally
And then
previewing
you've
this
got
year
defense.
right now.
So
I feel like.
anti-air, anti-personnel, and then shield generators. And then the big one. We start development Q1. So that's me.
Guys, they started development on Star Citizen like Q4 2012. Just want to point that part out. Doesn't matter when they start.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming.
But
It's wonderful to see you.
they made it very clear, and Chris made it very clear, that this year was not going to have this stuff in it, and that it was about starting the development and working it out, and they were making no promises around that ending of the panel whatsoever. But everything before that, there was a lot of promises and a lot of things said that did not come to pass. And yeah, that panel was pretty frustrating for me, if you couldn't tell. But yeah. SitCon 2023, really hitting home, eh? Really hitting home. Yikes.